Trying to become funnier sounds exciting until you actually start doing it, because you're going to start realizing that the people you know are going to start reacting differently. The jokes are going to fall flat, and you're going to feel rejection sometime real soon. So I made this video for the people who want to try to change to be known for being funny, but worry about that rejection. And it's coming. But don't worry, because the people who want to make people laugh gain more confidence over time. They become more socially relaxed and they make better connections. But then all of those ideas go away when you realize that the beginning is always going to be difficult, because if you publicly claim that you want to be a comedian, judgment and attention is going to point your way, especially by the people in your circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the 3 emotional stages that everyone goes through when they get started trying to be known for being funny on purpose: backlash, bombing, and rejection. And once you understand this, the fear on humor starts to dissolve at a rate based on your experience, or how good you are, or where your natural sense of humor is. So why did I think this mattered to make a video? Humor is not just about jokes. It's not about just being funny. It has a lot to do with your confidence, your relationships, your communication, even with yourself. And this alone gives you presence whenever you enter a room. So before we jump in, let me just ask you a question to keep in mind. What if that uncomfortable reaction that you're afraid of are actually the signs that you're doing it right in the beginning? And what if learning how to handle them is the real path to becoming naturally funny? Here's some ways that I can show you to better understand this. All right, so right off the bat, I'm going to let you know you're going to have a hard time when you publicly announce that you want to be known for being funny. The people in your circle, they're not going to like it. And it's not really their fault. This is a very common thing in just about any endeavor that you do, whether it's starting a business, even getting married. There's going to be some people in your circle that are going to ask why you're getting married. When you become a comedian, this is what I went through. The old you is going to be represented here. You know, and I was a very nerdy guy, as you can tell by these videos. I was a corporate guy. I was the kind of guy that, yeah, I'd make my funny joke here and there. But as soon as I said that I wanted to become a comedian and I would post about that, people in the comments were kind of in disbelief rather than congratulating me for doing my first comedy show. Even after I'd done a few shows, I decided not to post much about it and just occasionally drop in photos, and I wouldn't get much engagement on them by the people in your social circle. Now, as I continued to develop my comedy career, I was expanding myself outside of that circle, but you can still feel the friction here by the people that you know. This is a very normal behavior. This is what they call pulling the crab down from the bucket. And this is an unconscious thing that people do that they're not aware of. So don't take it personally. These are going to be the first people to show you how to do comedy. The only difference is that you start off with a very difficult audience because they saw you one way, and then as soon as you began the journey to be a comedian or somebody known to be funny, they're going to be the ones that are going to be looking at your jokes with scrutiny. Picture this as the great and difficult start to your comedy career. That's why everyone has a coming of age story, because it's always difficult at first. Next up, you gotta learn how to bomb. That's a normal thing that all comedians must go through. Knowing how to bomb goes far beyond just telling jokes. It goes into your actual nervous system. What would your nervous system tell you to do if your first joke falls flat? Will you forget how to speak English? Will you get all sweaty? Will you stumble your words or just forget the rest of your set and run off stage? This is something we all have to learn as comedians. And what do you feel in your body when you bomb, when you feel rejected, or when you say a joke and it falls flat and no one laughs? This is an outdated part of our nervous system. I forget where I read this, but it goes to show that this is the part of our nervous system where we're on survival mode because it's telling us we're not part of the tribe anymore, or where we might be outcast or ostracized. Based on our civilization, this part of our nervous system is no longer useful for us, but it's still hardwired in us. What's great about being a comedian is when you do bomb, you're going to get the kind of experience that not a lot of modern humans get, because rejection, especially public, shows you how your nervous system operates consistently. And what you're doing is you're exposing your nervous system to this rejection that we're hardwired with. And then you're going to constantly be learning that you're going to be safe the entire time, that you survived, and that there is no tribe anymore. And just because you bombed, life still goes on and you can go up and do it again. And sometimes this thrill of knowing that you're okay after a joke bombs gives you the confidence to say it again. So know how to bomb and realize that bombing is just you learning how your nervous system works. Lastly, rejection. These things aren't real. Rejection is just the friction that we all go through whenever we try to do something new. Picture people trying to pick up women. They got to get rejected consistently in order just to pick up women. Salespeople go through the same process. If you want to sell something, you have to try again with as many leads as possible. And it's the same thing with comedy. If you want to be funny, you just got to say funny things. When it comes to comedy, is that rejection in what we do as entertainers is not as real. A salesperson needs to reach a certain number in sales to keep their job. A person trying to talk to women will get rejected and not have a girlfriend. If we do comedy and we bomb, it's actually a win for us because we're gaining the experience of realizing that humiliation isn't real. Once you realize that you are experiencing humiliation differently than the way another person would, you have the advantage in realizing that this isn't something to worry about anymore. You can go up on stage, have a terrible set, and you'll be just fine getting off that stage, knowing you can go up and do it again. You use it as feedback, and you adjust and do it better. I remember a few times I'd go on a date, even on a first date, take her to a show on an open mic or something. I'm bombing. I get off stage, doesn't even affect me. And the confidence shows. Can I buy you a drink? Oh, you're not going to be ashamed of that? No, that's what we go through as comedians. I was just trying out new stuff. It didn't work. Maybe I'll take you up on the next one. And that confidence is contagious. Humiliation is too, because no one wants to feel humiliation on your part if you're not feeling it. So why bother when it comes to rejection? Realize that this is a very normal thing, and that if you experience it differently, you can actually use it to your advantage to have fun while the humiliation is happening. And then that allows you to then find your sense of humor regardless of what the reactions are outside of you. So if you're trying to become funnier, don't avoid discomfort. You are learning how to relax inside of that. Backlash means you're changing the dynamic. Bombing means that your nervous system is learning what safety is. And rejection is losing the part that removes your creative freedom. And when you feel free, playful, and relaxed, that's when your real sense of humor shows up. And all this goes to show you were on the right path the whole time. It's just that funny friction we all have to go through at one point or another. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out my channel for some more videos on how to find your sense of humor. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.